Hi, my name is Sarah from Pause for Dog Training, and today we're going to talk about place commands. Place command is a great command for, good boy, teaching your dogs to relax on command. It's great for when you're eating dinner, when you're having people over. It's almost like a stationary spot for your dog, almost like a crate without the walls, right? And it really can transfer into all kinds of things, and I'll go over that at the end of the video. Right now we're just going to focus on what you need and how to actually teach it. So this is a place cot, and I'm going to define place for the dog as all 4 feet on this cot. And this is the reason why most dog trainers, including myself, will use a raised bed like this instead of just having a mat on the floor, which you can progress to. But I would encourage you to start with a raised place bed because it's very easy for the dog to know when they're getting off of place, because they actually have to actually step off of this and touch the ground, right? So it's very clear for them to know when they're not doing it anymore, as opposed to having, let's say, this vet bed just on the ground. It's harder for the dogs to know when they're making a mistake and when they're actually doing it, right? So I would encourage you to start with a raised place cot like this. And then once you've mastered this, you can move on to other things, other surfaces, smaller things, and different applications, right? You're also going to need some food, and I would encourage you to train your dog when they're hungry. So I have just some liver treats that I've tried to break up into small pieces. We know how that goes. And I also have peanut butter on a spoon, just because we've been using that for this little puppy that's here for training, Hank. Hey, you want to see? Look at, there's Hank. Hank's a mini golden doodle. You're a good boy. And he's kind of a slow eater, so we have been using the peanut butter on a spoon. That's working a lot better, but you can certainly use whatever works for your dog. I would make sure that your dog or puppy has gone potty, they've had a little bit of exercise, and they're a little bit hungry. So Hank's had breakfast, but he hasn't had lunch yet, so he should be a little bit hungry and interested in training. I'm also going to use a marker word for this training. I'm going to use yes. You could also use a clicker if that's what your dog's used to. If you don't have a marker word yet, I would encourage you to have one. I have a positive one and a negative one. I just use yes and no, just to communicate with the dog when they've done something right and something wrong. I tend not to use a lot of other words when I'm training, aside from good boy or good girl or the dog's name, just to keep it nice and simple for the dogs. So I'm going to start with just the peanut butter on a spoon. I also have a leash on Hank, just to help kind of guide him. And I would encourage you again to keep a leash on your dog when you're starting with this. It's going to be kind of impossible to do this without a leash, just freehanding it. And it's going to be confusing for the dog, okay? So we got the leash on, and I just have a harness for Hank. You could use whatever you're currently using, and I have my peanut butter spoon. I'm just going to show him first. Yeah, that I have this. Good boy. And then I'm going to lure him onto the bed and see if he'll go on first. Yes. Almost. Come in. Yeah. Sometimes if the dogs are a little bit hesitant to go up on the raised bed, you can flip it over and try it that way. Which is what I'm going to do now. That over. Nice. Good boy. Yes, good boy. Nice. Good. Yes. So I'm just luring him on with the food and just saying the command once he's on there. Place. Good boy. I'm just building that association. Place. Between that command and what he's doing. Place. Good. Yes. Good boy. Yeah. And I'm going to flip this over. I'll try it without the vet first. So maybe that's the problem. Try again. Hank. Place. Good. Yes. Good boy. Place. Yes. I'm going to use a release command here now. Break. Good. that he's familiar with, and you should have a release command for your dog. Place. Good. Good boy. Place. Good. Break. Yes. Good boy. Hank, place. Good. Good boy. Break. Good. Good boy. So once you teach a command and the dog knows it pretty well, you can start introducing duration, distance, and distraction. So those are the kind of 3 Ds of dog training. And I always start with duration. Place. Good. And duration, we're not going to do anything distracting. Place. We're not going to move away. We're just going to stay here. Place. And we're going to reward the dog for staying on place, okay? Place. Good. Break. Yes, good boy. Good boy. Hank, place. Good. Yes. Good boy. Place. You kind of want to practice place in 2 phases. Duration being staying on place, so rewards for staying. And we also want to practice sending and releasing. They're kind of separate things, and you need to kind of practice them independently. You can't have a really, really great, strong place without practicing sending and releasing so that you can send your dog from kind of far away and that they understand when to get off. Because if they don't understand when to get off, place, then you don't have it, right? You don't have duration, they're not going to stay, so what's the point, right? Good boy, place. And you need to be able to have them stay, right? So I always recommend that once your dog is pretty proficient with this, that I would practice for 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes is kind of the maximum I think that dogs remember at one time. So once you have 30 solid minutes, I think that's enough. You don't kind of need to extend that. Place, but you could use it for longer if you wanted to. Good boy. Place. Good. And anytime your dog lies down on place, you really strongly want to reward that. Place. Because that's that relaxation that we really want to encourage when they're on here. I'm going to wait for eye contact before I release him. Break. Good. Good boy. And next we're going to move on to distance. Hank, place. Good. Still holding on to the leash. I'm just going to start by taking 1 step back. 1 step forward. Good. Place. Good boy. Again, 1 step back. 1 step forward. Place. Good. Let go of the leash because he's doing pretty good. 2 steps backwards. Good. It's important that you come back and give them something to eat because you don't want them to think that every time you move away that you're going to release them and ask them to get off, right? Good boy. A few steps back. I'm going to take a few more steps back because I think he might make a mistake, and I'm going to try to prompt him to make a mistake just so that I can show you what to do if they do make a mistake. So I'm going to do something that's a little bit too hard for him. No. I'm just picking up the leash. Place. Good boy. Good. I almost made a mistake there. I almost gave him something to eat right when I sent him back. You really want to watch that when they break command and you have to send them back, that you don't reward them right away, because if you do, they'll get in the habit of breaking and coming back just so that they can get the reward. Place. Good. I just used my negative marker word. No, whatever you want to use. I picked up the leash and I just guided him back. And then I waited 5 or 10 seconds before I gave him a reward. Good boy. Good boy. Break. Yes, good boy, Hank. You're doing so good, buddy. Now we're going to do the hard part. This is distractions, okay? So distractions can be environmental. You can use food distractions. You can use toy distractions. And you can also switch up the environment. So this would be kind of the last step when your dog's pretty proficient with this. I'm going to use toys because I have some here. A couple of toys. Just going to reload my peanut butter on my spoon here. Place. Good. Good boy. Now I'm just going to grab onto the leash. I'm not going to hold it tight, but I'm going to hold it so that I'm able to guide him back into place before he gets to this toy, because I'm pretty sure he's going to try to go for the toy, which is totally normal. He doesn't know, right? Just going to remind him, place, right before I throw it. I'm going to throw the toy down. Place. Place. Good. I'm going to wait 5 or 10 seconds before I reward him. Yes. Using my marker word. I'm going to pick the toy up and try again. Nope. Place. Good. I'm going to wait 5 or 10 seconds before I reward. Good. Good. Place. Yes. So anytime your dog does that, where they get up like they're gonna go and then they sit back down and realize, wait a minute, I'm doing something here, you really want to reward that kind of critical thinking, right? Because that's the skill that you really want to develop to have a well-trained dog. And drop it again. Place. Good. I'm gonna wait 5 or 10 seconds before I reward him. Good. Place. Good. Place. Good. I'm gonna wait 5 or 10 seconds. Good. Place. Good. Another one of those moments that you want to capture. I'm going to drop the toy again. Good. Good boy. Good. Break. Break. Yeah. You want to get back? Yes. Good boy. So that was perfect, okay? We got to the point where I could drop the toy on the floor and then he was able to stay in place. So that was perfect. So that's how you kind of want to progress through place command with your dog. Baby steps at a time, and really right after that training session, I would end it right there after he was successful. You really want to end training sessions when your dog is feeling successful and confident instead of stressed, right? You really want to end these training sessions on a positive note and end them before your dog's tired, before your dog's sick of doing this stuff, right? End it while there's still excitement, your dog's happy, now he has the toy and he's even happier. So to really have a nice place command where you can answer the door and have your dog stay while you're still in the training phase, this is a quick and dirty tip. I have a tether. So this is just 2 4-foot leashes tied together. I have it tied to just the box that has all the toys in it. For a bigger dog, you're going to want something more secure. You can actually get the eyelets that will actually screw into the wall. If you have a dog and you really want to, that's really dangerous when people come or really barks a lot, makes a big scene, and you want to use place to kind of control that, you're going to want to anchor that in your wall somewhere. And I would get an eyelet. We have them in the training room. We don't have them in the house, but that's something to think about if you have a bigger dog. So I have this set up so that he could just get off of place if he wanted to break command. He could just get off, but he can't actually get to the door. So if I'm answering this door, he can't actually get to the person that's on the other side of this door, which means that if a stranger knocks or if I'm practicing, I can send him to place. I can hook up the leash here to his harness or collar. I can answer the door. And if the dog breaks command, which when you're just starting, he probably will, if he's used to rushing the door when he hears the door, you can actually contain that and take away that reward that the dog gets from greeting someone at the door, whether that's barking, jumping, getting excited, whatever their motivation is for going to the door, you're going to take that environmental reward away with the tether, okay? So this way you can send them back with the leash or just with some food, and then you can reward them when they're back on, okay? So I'm going to do a little bit of that with Hank here, even though he's probably not quite ready for that, just to show you. Hank. Hank. Nice. Good boy. Put the tether on. Nice. Good. Hank's just a baby, so probably doesn't really understand the door knocking, but if I had an adult dog who was used to that, this is what I would practice a lot of: door knocking, doorbell sounds, right? You could even set it up so that the door knocking or the doorbell is the actual cue for the dog to go to place, if that's your main motivation for using it. Yes, good boy. Good boy. Good. Good boy, Hank. That was so good. Yes, good. This is a great way to practice. Again, Hank doesn't have that, he's just a little puppy, so he doesn't have that motivation of going to the door, those constant environmental rewards that dogs would get from barking or greeting someone at the door. Break. Yes, good boy. I'm going to unclip him. Good boy. And he's free to move about the cabin. Good boy. So I hope you enjoyed that. Please like, ask any questions below, subscribe if you like this video so I can make more of them. And thanks for watching.